I have been separated. I've recently seen something that horrified me so much I can't stand it. I guess I have to tell you. Today was our high school graduation. I felt that it was necessary to celebrate, so I would invite some of my friends over to watch some movies and play on the Xbox 360. So I called my friends, they agreed to come over, and I went to go pick out a movie. So I went to the store to pick up Ted since that movie was so hilarious. I asked the clerk at the store if there's a copy of Ted. He pulled out a black crate that was labeled separated. He then took out a copy of Ted and then said, "This copy of Ted includes HD edition and director's cut. Refunds will be given. Have a nice day." I was kind of shocked that the clerk gave me a copy of Ted for free, but also one that comes with HD edition director's cut. But the clerk wasn't freaked out or anything, and the disc looked fine, and I had to say, it was pretty sweet to get a free copy of the hilarious movie. It was pretty sweet to get a free copy of the hilarious movie. It was pretty sweet to get a free copy of the hilarious movie. So my friends came over and we watched the movie. It was so hilarious we had to watch it again. Then we played some games like Halo and COD because we were just MLG like that. My friends left at 10:30. However, after they left, I realized that there was another disc in the box that had all the other discs in it. The disc was labeled "I had been separated." It was weird, but I honestly didn't expect it to be crazy. After waiting for 5 minutes, a loud burst of tropical music came from my DVD player. I turned it down, and I realized it was SpongeBob. I was disappointed, since I was a bit too old for that show, but I decided to watch it. However, the DVD started the episode and skipped the main menu. Anyways, the cheerful music played, and then came the red bubbles that went up the screen. Okay, maybe the background was supposed to be red. The first episode was called Separation. This episode immediately began in SpongeBob's house. SpongeBob was laying on his side, hugging his knees, and he's crying. He then said, "Why my parents abandoned me? Why have I been separated?" I honestly felt bad for SpongeBob, even though he was for little kids. Did his parents abandon SpongeBob as a child? Anyways, the rest of the episode showed SpongeBob crying. Then the next episode came called Mammoth Mouth. The episode was a shot that kept on going up. All you could see was Squidward standing frozen and seemed to be laughing. He was humongous and had a giant white beard. In the background, you could hear the Gygus theme. The reason why the theme was in the episode, I'll never know. But I kept watching, and the next episode was called Caveman Corruption. The episode was like as if it was recorded by a camera, not like in the normal way, and it was just like it was a stationary shot. All it was a minute of SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward running back and forth in caveman clothing. All they said was "rah, rah, rah" for the entire episode, until the next episode came, which was called Plankton Shall Be Pleased. This time, Gygus himself was in the background. I was confused, but more of it would come from what I saw next. It was a shot of Plankton saying "rah, rah, rah" over and over again. Plankton's eye was at the top of his head, with torn skin underneath it, revealing gray flesh. He was also missing some teeth. Then a shot of SpongeBob came in, with him just staring, not even blinking. The disturbing part was that his eyes had no irises, and his pupils were much bigger and more crude. Then the screen cut to black, with Plankton still ranting and the sound of slicing of a knife. The next screen was disgusting. A shot of SpongeBob's sponge flesh being tossed into a pile, including blood and organs, was next. You could still hear Plankton, which was getting louder. The next shot was of SpongeBob's carcass, which was alive. Everything but his pants and legs were gone. SpongeBob's ribs were triangular and red. His eyes were still the same and creepy. Then Plankton spat out a giant ball of green spit at SpongeBob, which covered up his entire body. SpongeBob then left. The end of the episode showed Plankton wolfing down SpongeBob's flesh. What was weird was while he ate, you could still hear him ranting. At this point, I expected something completely gruesome to appear, but instead the next episode came, called Music Crowd. Which was actually relieving. The episode was an aerial view of a giant crowd with every SpongeBob character you could imagine, from Old Man Jenkins even to all Plankton's cousins. It was a happy It was a happy episode until 15 seconds later, where everyone left but Squidward. Then the screen cut to Squidward running back and forth screaming, "Why, why, why?" What was really weird was that Squidward's entire body was blackened out. The background was nothing but a red sand plain and very dark blue sky with black clouds. And then all of a sudden, Squidward faced me and said, "Why did?" in mid-sentence. The screen went black. I was too afraid to see what happened next, and I tried to turn the DVD player off, but nothing happened. Then the first episode came on again, but the entire episode was silent. At the end, a black screen with SpongeBob text said, "I have been separated." The next screen, which I assumed was the same thing, was a black screen with white Japanese text, but in Japanese symbols. Then the next screen was terrifying. It was a 5-second shot of SpongeBob laying on the ground, without his head but his skull. There were intestines wrapped around his neck, eyeballs shoved in his stomach, and blood pooled all around him. In the background was the sound of what was like the piano in Super Mario 64, where you could also hear Plankton ranting again. Then a screen came up and said, "I have been ended, and I have been separated." I immediately took the disc out, put it away, drove back to the movie store. I ran in and gave the clerk back the movie copy. So that was my story, and let me tell you, I am very glad that I have been separated from that CD. So, Alex, how do you think of that bizarre creepypasta that I gave?
Way too gory.
Yeah, I know. This was actually a real dream I had, though. I'm serious. I mean, the high school part wasn't real. It was just the DVD part, but it really did.
That was way too gory.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if I decide not to make this exactly like my dream, I probably would have removed some gore stuff. But I mean, it's not always gore. But the Plankton part was really like
gory.
Yeah, it was overdone. I think I overdid that part, but otherwise, what did you think of it?
It was pretty good.
I remember. I don't know. The dream was pretty scary when I was like having it, but it is just. I think the high school part I also made too stupid. Like when they were playing the Xbox games, that was just too MLG. Too MLG. It's like that's way too typical of a high schooler. But
at least that's realism.
Yeah. Yeah, because all those MLG guys.
But what ruined it for me was the gore.
Yeah, I think especially the Plankton part was overdone.
Oh my god. You gotta stop overdoing that.
Well, that's because, though, I mean, this was actually what happened in the dream, though. Like, it really did happen, though. Like SpongeBob with the black pupils and everything, and, like, all that stuff, and Plankton was, like, wolfing it down and stuff. But I think the overall, like, idea of the fact that, like, SpongeBob was, like, separated and stuff or whatever, that was probably the best part, but otherwise
it sucked.
I guess so. No, it's an average creepypasta. It's not a shit pasta. That's what I said.
Oh my god! Did you just see that?
Yes, that was awesome. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching our creepypasta. Rate and tell us what we could have done better.
Definitely.
Like and subscribe. Bye.